this is the tech room that I built. I think it turned out pretty well. We got the electricity panel right here, but this is not installed by me though. It's by a proper electrician. You can see that on the wiring. Looks really good. And this RPM regulator for the pool pump, so that it doesn't sound as loud when it's going. I really like the, I don't know what you call it, connections. These are screw-on connections, and that is golden. Something that we can do while we're down here is to do a little bit of a rinse. So that is some dirty freaking water. All right, Q&A time. Hi. We're gonna do a rapid fire Q&A today. I'm gonna try my best. Could you get back to work and start building the guest house, please? It's coming. Do you love Philips Hue or do you love Philips Hue? I love Philips Hue. And I'm gonna show you all the smart home tech that I think is worth investing in a future video on the main channel. Why did you stop making more filmmaking videos? To be honest, those were the good old days. Mainly because I started to get tired of it. I didn't feel like I was challenged creatively. It all started to feel like I was doing the same thing. And I understand that some people started following me for those videos and want to see more of those videos, but the fundamentals of the things that I taught back then is still valid to this day. So nothing has changed. If you want to use a camera in a way to capture specific things, then you can still do that with that. So I hope that that makes sense. And I also realized that we haven't turned on the lights. Talking about Philips Hue. We're gonna do it like this. Hue. I don't know, I think that this looks pretty good, but if we can get a little bit of a punch in here, let's see. Ooh, that's a little bit too bright. What happens if we turn off? Wow, okay. Yeah, I like that more. But yeah, when it comes to filmmaking, I have absolutely no interest in making feature films or more short films in that sense. If I get a fun idea that I can do together with a couple of my friends, I will probably do that. Other than that, my interest is in creating stuff that I get an idea for right now. I don't want to wait 1.5 years and make that movie, you know? How do you juggle your multiple interests? I gotta say that right now I'm trying to combine everything into what I do. For example, in this video or in my previous video, you saw some 3D printed hooks, and then I love flying drones, I love using a camera, I try to design products, I try to weave everything into what I do, and that in and by itself makes it interesting to do all the hobbies and interests that I have. What video editing program do you use? Final Cut Pro. Is there any feature in a camera that would get you interested in gear again? I'm gonna say internal ND, but I don't feel that there's anything that would get me interested in the camera space as it was like 5 years ago, because getting an internal ND is great, but it's not that I'm feeling like, whoa, I need this is gonna be the next hype. Going from 1080p to 4K, that was a huge step, but going from 4K to 8K, not so much, because you need so much space and you need a lot of different processing power compared to what we use now. All the data that you need stored is going to be so much. So I feel like 4K for me is enough. OpenGate, sure, but honestly, I think it's more of a thing that people want to have just because it doesn't exist, rather than something that people need to have. How to make a seamless transition when I talk without a B-roll. If you're just talking, make sure you cut in the right position and then zoom in a little bit. That basically gives you a seamless transition. What keeps you motivated? I don't know. I'm gonna say that motivation comes from curiosity, because if you're curious on things, then you're also gonna try to motivate yourself to do those things that you're curious in, and so on and so forth. So if you're reaching a plateau, you need to find something new that you're gonna get curious in to start getting motivated again, even though it might not be the same thing that you were curious to begin with. What is the location that you test active track? Would be a great FPV spot. I'm not gonna drop that. I'm curious to know, what do you think about this drop of views that many big and small channels? I'm guessing you mean on YouTube. Honestly, I don't really care about it. When are you planning your next trip to Finland? I don't know at this time of year or this time of year? I don't know. Has your wife been tempted to start her own channel? No, absolutely not. Are you already testing the new DJI mirrorless camera? Blink twice if yes. Which one is the best, Artlist or Epidemic Sound? I've been using Artlist for 6 years at this point, so I guess that is answer enough. A, you rock. Well, thank you. B, what other things that are uninterested in, What other things are uninterested in making content beside camera and vid? I'm not entirely sure if I got your question there, but yeah, we're gonna leave that. Grilled chicken breast or grilled steak? I'm gonna say grilled steak every single time of the week. Have you 3D printed anything good lately? Yeah, these hooks. They are great, super simple. What is the biggest challenge now as a dad of 2? I'm gonna say that the biggest challenge with being a dad is that you wanna try to find time to both run your own business, but also be with the kids without feeling stressed. Previously with Alexander, it was much easier to work more because as soon as he got to bed, I could work, but now we have 2 kids, and if they go to bed at separate times, it makes it harder. Best 5-inch FPV drone for traveling. I would probably go with the Gep RC Mark V or the iFlight Nazgul. What is the best action camera for 4K under $300? The DJI Action 4, hands down. Have you cannonballed into the pool yet? Oh, plenty of times. How many videos did you do on YouTube until you began to feel sure and be recognizable? Oh man, I think it was up to 100, 150 videos before I started to actually get some recognition. It's not so much about the recognition, it's more so about what kind of videos that you do and why you do the videos that you do. Or, I mean, like, see it as becoming better at the craft of making videos. How did you find and handle the first couple of brand deals? Honestly, if you post interesting enough videos about products that resonates with brands, then they're gonna come asking you to make videos on the product. I remember when DJI reached out, I hadn't heard from them at all. I was just making videos on the products that I owned and used and had purchased myself, and that resonated with a big audience. And then that audience was something that DJI wanted to take a part of. Same thing with Sony, and so on and so forth. So make sure you make good videos about not only about the product, but about the interest that these products are in. Do you like Swedish melodic death metal? Yes, in flames. What do you think about Stream Decks as an extra tool for editing apps? I guess I know, that's not my cup of tea. But maybe it works for you. Are you gonna make a video about your 3D printing skills and your products? I'm gonna say both yes and no. I don't wanna make tutorials on how to 3D print because I don't feel like it's one of those things that I wanna teach. But yeah, absolutely, I'm gonna show you the basics of it and how I think when I do stuff when it comes to 3D printing. What is your personal bench press record? Man, this was, I think it was in 2015 or 2016, but I was repping my dude at 180 kilos 10 times. Do you have a system or routine that you follow when you're shooting videos? Absolutely not. I just shoot whatever I think is good, and if I feel that it should be in a video, then it ends up in the video. But something that I usually do think when it comes to making YouTube videos is if you're not a veteran in the field and you want to get started with making YouTube videos, the easiest way to make a YouTube video is to record what you do and then sit down and talk about what you did and why. Because then you have everything in one place. You have the A-roll that you sit down and talk about the things that you've done, and that is the B-roll. So A-roll and B-roll all in one place without doing anything extra. And that's it for now. Questions out. Thanks so much for listening to me. Thanks so much for asking the questions. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you want to ask more questions on the next one. I'm going to try to do one of these weekly. So, Peter from Sweden on the vlog channel. Have a good one.